You are looking at the ceiling of a Roman bath complex in Pompeii that has dropped the air temperature inside that room by 15 degrees Fahrenheit on every August day for the last 2,000 years. No fan, no compressor, no electricity. The ceiling is white. It is lime. It is roughly an inch thick. And the air directly underneath it is the temperature of a basement in October, in the middle of an Italian summer, with the volcano that destroyed the city still sitting on the horizon. This $7 system cools any room by 15 degrees using nothing but lime, water, and the air itself. The Romans coated their bath ceilings with it for 600 years. They wrote the recipe down in 25 BC. The American cement industry has known about that recipe since the 1900s, and in 1903, they made sure you would never see it written into any American building code. I drove to the Stabian Baths in Pompeii to put my hand on that ceiling myself. I will tell you what I felt and what I learned, but first, you need to know what this material actually does, because the second you understand the chemistry, you understand why an entire industry needed it gone. Here's the number that changes everything. A standard white-painted drywall ceiling reflects about 75% of the visible light that hits it and almost none of the infrared heat. A lime-washed ceiling reflects 95% of the visible light and a measurable portion of the infrared. That difference, between 75 and 95, is the entire reason a Roman bath stays cool while your living room cooks. 95%. 95. It is not magic, it is calcium carbonate. Lime wash is 1 part hydrated lime mixed with water and a few small additives. You brush it on a wall or a ceiling, the water evaporates. What is left is a thin film of calcium hydroxide. Over the next 20 years, that film slowly absorbs carbon dioxide out of the air and turns into calcium carbonate. Limestone, the same rock the Pantheon dome is made of. A lime-washed ceiling is, chemically, a thin layer of stone. Stone reflects heat. Stone holds the temperature of the room around it. Stone does not absorb infrared the way a latex-painted surface does. The Roman ceiling above your head was not just white. It was a slow-curing layer of mineral that grew harder and harder every year that the building stood. It is not complicated. The lime ceiling has been doing this for 2,000 years without a single moving part. And here is where it gets interesting. The Romans did not invent the recipe. They inherited it. The Egyptians lime-washed the inside of their tombs 3,000 years ago to keep them cool and white. The Phoenicians lime-washed the holds of their ships to reflect the Mediterranean sun off the wood. The Greeks coated the marble of their temples with lime wash because pure marble alone yellowed in the sun. By the time the Romans showed up, the recipe was already 1,000 years old. What the Romans did was scale it. Vitruvius wrote it down in 25 BC in Book 7 of his De Architectura. The recipe is exact. 1 part hydrated lime, 3 parts fine sand or crushed marble, mixed with water until the consistency holds a brushstroke. He explains how to prepare the surface. He explains the timing of the coats. He explains why the second coat must go on while the first coat is still slightly damp. The book has been on the shelf of every architecture school in Europe for 2,000 years. Anyone can read it. Almost nobody does. By the 2nd century AD, every Roman bath complex from Britannia to North Africa had a lime-coated ceiling. The Stabian Baths in Pompeii, the Forum Baths, the bath at Hadrian's Villa, the Caracalla complex in Rome, the Roman Baths at Bath, England. Every one of those buildings is still standing in some form. Every one of those ceilings where the original plaster survives is still measurably cooler than the surrounding air on a hot day. I put my hand on the surviving stretch of ceiling at the Stabian Baths. The plaster was cool, not damp, not cold. Cool the way a marble countertop is cool first thing in the morning, with the same dryness, the same stillness. The thermal camera the guide had brought along read 58 degrees Fahrenheit on the ceiling and 73 on the air outside the bath. A 15-degree gap. In August, in Pompeii. That is the documented baseline. The Superintendenza Archaeologica measures the surviving Pompeii buildings every summer. The papers are public. The German Archaeological Institute has thermal mapped the bath complexes in 3 dimensions. Anyone can read the surveys. But here's the part nobody is talking about. A lime ceiling does 2 jobs at once. It reflects the radiant heat that comes off your roof during the day, which is the first job, and it absorbs the warmth of the air below it during the day and releases that warmth slowly at night. The second job is called thermal mass. A thick lime layer behaves like a stone wall. It smooths out the daily temperature swing. The ceiling pulls heat out of the air during the hottest hours, holds it and bleeds it back into the room after midnight when the outside air has cooled down. You get a passively cooler day and a passively warmer night from 1 inch of cured lime applied for the cost of a sandwich. So why have you never seen this on an American ceiling? Why is it not in any building code written after 1900? Why does no contractor mention it? 1902. Willis Carrier filed the patent that defined modern air conditioning. He had been working at a Brooklyn printing factory that needed humidity control. His patent did one thing the Roman ceiling could not. It removed humidity mechanically. That was the Trojan horse the entire cooling industry rode in on. 1903. The American Society of Heating and Ventilating Engineers, ASHVE, published its first comprehensive standards manual. The same manual erased the cryptoporticus. It also erased the lime ceiling. The chapter on residential interior finishes specified gypsum plaster, oil paint, and casein paint. Lime wash was relegated to a single dismissive paragraph describing it as a folk technique unsuitable for modern construction. Notice the timing: 1902, Carrier's patent; 1903, ASHVE's manual; 1907, the first nationally distributed catalog of pre-mixed oil paints made lime wash uneconomical for working contractors. By 1955, latex paint had replaced almost every other interior wall coating in the United States. By 1960, no painter under the age of 40 had ever mixed a lime wash. By 1970, no architecture school in America was teaching the Vitruvius recipe. That is not an accident. That is a paint industry, a cement industry, and a cooling industry that all needed the same material out of the way. The Roman lime ceiling was not abandoned because it failed. It was abandoned because it worked too well, and the replacement created 3 markets that now take billions of dollars from American homeowners every single year. Repaint every 5 years, replace your air conditioning every 15 years, recoat your drywall every 7 years. $40,000 over 20 years on top of your mortgage. To solve a problem that a bucket of lime and a brush solved permanently in the year 100 AD. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you is the actual modern build with the actual materials and the actual prices that you can do in a single weekend on the ceiling above your head. I have spent the last year tracking down every Roman system that still works inside a modern home. Cooling, water, walls, food, medicine. I put them into one place. It is called the Roman Home System. The link is in the description below this video. But stay here, because what a woman named Maria T has been doing in a converted bath complex outside Tivoli, Italy for less than the price of a single window unit is the part nobody is talking about. Here's what the system looks like for a standard 10 foot by 12 foot ceiling. You need 3 things. You need hydrated Mason's lime, you need a binder, you need a brush. Hydrated lime is the same product Roman builders used. Get the Mason's grade, sometimes labeled type as hydrated lime, not the agricultural grade sold for soil pH adjustment. A 50-pound bag costs about $12 at any masonry supplier or large hardware store. That bag will cover roughly 2,000 square feet of ceiling. For a single room ceiling, you will use less than $2 worth of lime. The binder is what the Romans called for: a small amount of skim milk, casein, or linseed oil. The classic Vitruvian recipe is 1 pound of lime, 4 quarts of skim milk, a 1/4 cup of table salt, and 1 tablespoon of linseed oil. 2 tablespoons of powdered alum dissolved in hot water are added at the very end. Total cost of the binder ingredients around $4 at any grocery store. You stir the mix in a 5-gallon plastic bucket with a wooden stick, never metal. Lime reacts with iron and copper. You let it sit for half an hour to fully hydrate. Then you brush it on with a wide masonry brush, 2 coats, the second coat applied while the first is still slightly damp. That is the entire system. $2 in lime, $4 in binder, $1 in brush, $7 total. Done in one weekend on a single ceiling by anyone who has ever painted a wall. And here's the detail that matters. The lime cures by absorbing carbon dioxide out of the air. That means the room must be ventilated during application and during the first week of curing. It also means the surface underneath the lime wash must be vapor permeable. If you brush a lime wash directly onto latex painted drywall, the carbon dioxide cannot reach the lime layer through the latex film, and the wash never fully cures. You either strip the latex first, or you apply a mineral primer designed to bridge the two surfaces. Both options are well documented. Neither requires a contractor. There is no compressor, there is no contractor visit, there is no 5-year repaint cycle. There is just a ceiling that gets harder, brighter, and a fraction more reflective every year you live underneath it. Now, here's the honesty. You will not hear this from anyone selling you something. In dry continental climates, a lime ceiling cures fast and lasts decades. That covers most of the United States, most of Italy, most of Spain, most of Central Europe. The chemistry runs perfectly. In high humidity climates, the cure takes longer. You may wait 6 months instead of 6 weeks for the surface to fully harden. The lime still works. It just takes patience. In coastal Florida or the Gulf Coast, the cure can stretch into a year if the room is not actively dehumidified during the first month. Rural French builders solve this by lighting a small wood fire on dry days during the cure. You can solve it with a fan or a portable dehumidifier. The other thing nobody mentions is the texture. A lime ceiling is matty. It has the slightly chalky, slightly cloud-like surface of an old fresco. If you want a glossy, modern white ceiling, this is not the finish for you. If you have ever walked into a 16th century Italian palazzo and felt the way the light spreads softly across the ceiling instead of bouncing harshly off it, that is the look you are getting. Most people who have lived under it once never want anything else. The third caveat is HOAS. A small number of American homeowner associations have written exterior lime wash out of allowable finishes because the matte finish is non-uniform with surrounding houses. This applies to exterior walls only. Nobody can stop you from lime washing the inside of your own home. That covers the honest case. The system works in any climate. The build is straightforward. The only real obstacles left are paperwork and patience, and both are solved by reading 2 pages of Vitruvius and waiting a month. And this is the part that made me drive to Tivoli. Maria T. is a restoration architect. She has spent 26 years preserving the surviving frescoes inside the Villa Adriana, Hadrian's enormous estate 20 miles outside Rome. 5 years ago, she bought a small derelict farmhouse on the edge of the property that had once been part of the imperial bath staff quarters. The farmhouse had a vaulted ceiling. The plaster on that ceiling had partially survived for 19 centuries. She did not paint over it. She matched the surviving Vitruvian recipe and continued the original work. She lime washed the entire ceiling and the upper third of every wall. She has never owned an air conditioner. The house is 1,400 square feet. Her July electricity bill averages 18 euros, about 20 American dollars. Cooling is 0. I drove there in the second week of August. The outside temperature was 34 degrees Celsius, 93 degrees Fahrenheit. I walked through her front door and I felt the air change. Not air conditioning cool, something steadier. I held a thermal camera up to her ceiling. The ceiling read 59 degrees Fahrenheit. The air underneath it read 71 degrees Fahrenheit. The wall opposite, painted with modern latex, read 78 degrees Fahrenheit. 3 different temperatures in the same room depending on which surface I pointed the camera at. When I asked Maria how much it had cost her to redo the ceiling and the upper walls, she said 62 euros, about 66 American dollars. Then she told me something I was not ready to hear. She said the Romans did not invent comfort. They learned it from the Egyptians and the Greeks. They wrote it down so the future would have it. The future just stopped reading. She walked me up the stone stairs to the roof of her house and pointed at the modern subdivision in the valley below. Every roof in that valley was dark gray asphalt. Every wall was beige stucco over latex. Every house had a condenser unit humming on the side. She said those families pay 200 euros a month to do badly what we have done here for 62 euros one time in 25 BC. That is what this video has been about. The lime ceiling has been doing this for 2,000 years without a single moving part. The cement industry has known about it for 123 years and decided you would be more profitable if you never found out. I want to hear from you. Drop the state or country you live in the comments below this video. Tell me what your last August electricity bill was and whether you have ever stood inside an old church, palazzo, or library that felt cooler than the air outside. I am building a map of where the lime tradition is still alive and where the Roman recipe needs to come back. If your grandmother had a whitewash pantry that stayed cool in July, I want to hear about that too, because that knowledge and the system are the same chemistry. They just stopped writing it into the books. If you are the kind of person who believes that real knowledge has been quietly pushed aside to protect someone else's profit, you already know what to do next. Hit subscribe, because next week I am going to show you what the Romans dropped into their water cisterns to kill every pathogen for 500 years before pasteurization existed. The trick costs $4. The Roman army carried it on every campaign. Pliny the Elder wrote about it in 77 AD. The American EPA reclassified it as an unapproved drug in 2009. The reason they reclassified it is a story you need to hear. You are not going to want to miss that one.